If you clicked on this video expecting me to just insult Jodie Whittaker, then you can just click off. I want this video to be more than just 13 bashing. Now for some context. I have been a fan of Doctor Who since Eccleston said run.
Run!
I mean, technically I first saw this show while channel surfing. I was bored, didn't have anything good to do, saw Barty Crouch Jr. jumping around, and was immediately hooked. I was a bit confused, but I was enjoying it. After the episode ended, I looked up more about it, and stumbled upon the gem that was New Who. And from that, I watched all the new series of Doctor Who. I was in love with it. Compared to comic book superheroes, it just felt fresh and exciting. The Doctor wasn't some jacked up guy who could fight through everything. He wasn't some special being, or the chosen one, destined for greatness. He was just a wacky British guy who went around time and space for some crazy adventures. And the added bonus of history and science fiction was the cherry on top. But as the show went on, it started to fizzle. Don't get me wrong, I was still interested, but I wasn't very invested. The show suddenly became too large and grand, and the Doctor became a larger-than-life hero, while the Russell T Davies era made the Doctor important, and the Moffat era also added to it. Chibnall took the whole damn cake. It's like he completely forgot what made the Doctor so amazing, and went on to write his own fanfiction. He did a complete 180 of what the Doctor was. The Doctor has always been a madman with a box. He wasn't the strongest, or the most powerful, nor was he the most intelligent, especially in the classic series, that he wasn't even good at his studies, and had to steal a TARDIS to go on an adventure. Yes, he did become overpowered in the recent times, thanks to Moffat, but he still remained just a madman with a box. But then the Timeless Child happened, and Chibnall basically fucked up everything the Doctor stood for. Now before I start bitching, let me preface this by saying, I don't hate Jodie Whittaker, or the 13th Doctor. It's the writing that bothers me. When I first heard that the Doctor would be female, I was excited. I wanted to see what was in store. I had heard praise for Chibnall thanks to his work in Broadchurch and Torchwood. So my hope was high. His Doctor Who stuff hadn't been good, but still, there was something. Series 11 was fine. It was a bit dull. It started out strong, and I actually quite enjoyed it. The Woman Who Fell to Earth was a good starter. I thought it was a solid start. Yes, the villain was a bit weak, but overall it was a great introduction to the characters. The rest of the series was a bunch of hit and misses, with more emphasis on the miss. After Series 11, I had lost most of my interest for the show, but then I heard that the Master was coming back. This piqued my interest, and so I went through Series 12. I really liked Ruth, thought she was far more charismatic. Her character had a sense of mystery, and some of the theories, especially the alternate timeline one, was really interesting. But then they confirmed she was before Hartnell, and everything just went to shit. Doctor Who has always had a weird relationship with canon, but one thing stayed consistent, and that was the Doctors. William Hartnell is the first Doctor, and nothing can change that. Honestly, it's just insulting to his legacy. He made the show happen. He was the Doctor. The show might not even happened, or would have been different. No shitty retcon can change that. This just made me realize what Chibs and the BBC were doing. In an effort to pretend to be more progressive, they just did the complete opposite. Now, I don't know about you, but the implications that a Doctor could have been anything, but chose to be a white male for most of his lives, has worse implications. They unintentionally made themselves appear more racist. This is more evident in The Timeless Child, where we find out Doctor is the Timeless Child, who gave the Time Lords all their powers. Now, I don't hate the concept of Timeless Child. It's an interesting concept. I just wish the Doctor wasn't one. There are many good videos about alternative ideas, and I'll link them down in the description below. My issue with the Doctor being the Timeless Child is that it's essentially the chosen one trope, and effectively destroyed the legacy of the Doctor in mere seconds. Now, I think some people confuse this concept, but there's two ways to become legend. One is that you are gifted everything at birth, and the other one is where your actions speak for you. And the Doctor is the latter. He didn't become the legend, the myth himself, just by being born into it. He became that by saving lives wherever he went. All he did was help people wherever he traveled, and the people remembered this. Thus, he became this legendary figure. This is what separates him from most traditional heroes. He doesn't get a particular backstory explaining his life. All that is left vague, and the only thing we get are his actions. That was what made me fall in love with the show. People may think I'm exaggerating, but bottom line is, the Timeless Child essentially turned the Doctor into chosen Mary Sue, and I don't know how they can recover from that. Now we know the Doctor is invincible. There's no point in watching the series anymore, is there? There will be no tension and no stakes. So what's in store for the future? Well, I think cancellation. The ratings are low, the fans are unhappy, and I don't see a very happy future for the show. Shame how the quality declined, especially the writing, which is a bit weird considering how great the Big Finish stories are. Why can't they just hire those writers? What are your thoughts on the show? Am I being too harsh? Comment your thoughts. I love reading Hovi and stuff. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, do check out my other videos. Constant bitching is my brand, and if you like shitting on terrible movies and shows, then my videos are for you. You can find me on